An avalanche of criticism erupted across Africa and in the Caribbean, following remarks by U.S. General Michael Langley, head of the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, accusing Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, of misusing the country's gold reserves for personal protection rather than for national benefit.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
General Langley made this comment during a recent U.S. Senate hearing, where he alleged that Traore had diverted vital national resources for his own security interests. The statement, swiftly picked up by African media and social platforms, has drawn sharp backlash from citizens, activists, and commentators across the continent. Many Africans took to their social media pages to voice their outrage, accusing the U.S. of meddling in the sovereign affairs of African nations and displaying double standards in its foreign policy.
Always ask questions. Pay close attention to half stories. Stereotype. Why spread the lies, or why try and sow those seeds of doubt? Become the person that goes on the hunt for truth.
It was beautiful to see Africans in the continent and people of African descent across the globe rise up to show their support for the Traore movement. General Langley's accusation caused a wildfire of responses and outrage from Africans all over the world. Thousands across Africa rally in solidarity with Burkina Faso and Captain Ibrahim Traore, denouncing foreign interference and imperialist destabilization.
I stand firmly with Ibrahim Traore. If they dare touch Ibrahim Traore, they will regret. We are ready to go and fight in the Burkina Army. Me, at my old age, I'll go and fight in the Burkina Faso Army. All these people follow me and we'll go and fight in the Burkina Faso Army. They should dare try Ibrahim Traore.
Ibrahim Traore is not going to be like Gaddafi Amanda. We are going to stand in solidarity with Ibrahim Traore Amanda.
We are here today to celebrate and to upkeep the work of Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. We are in support of the president for the liberation of our black mother country, Africa.
That is really unprecedented.
Yes. We need to unite now. Yes. All our differences we must put aside. Yes. We are not our ancestors. Yes. This is our time. Yes. The time is now. Yes. Let's fight African. Yes. Let's fight for our brother. Yes. He has started. Yes. We need more leaders like him. Yes. The time is now. Yes. Viva Africa! Yes.
I've always thought uniting Africa would be extremely difficult, but never did I know that His Excellency Ibrahim Traore will single-handedly unite Africans in Africa and in the diaspora.
It warms the heart to know that more Africans have begun to see how Western imperialism works and how they use their propaganda machine to destabilize nations where their interests are challenged or are no longer being followed. It seems that to the West, a dictator is any leader who does not follow the dictates of the West. while a terrorist is anyone who goes against the interests of the West. This is a typical example of how imperialism works. It wraps itself in many layers of lies, deceptions, corruptions, and manipulation. And what this means is that the issue that the U.S. and the West in general have with Ibrahim Traore is not that he is using the country's wealth for himself. As the U.S. claimed, he is actually doing the opposite. But this begs the question of which president in the world is more protected than the U.S. president? But this is how imperialism works. It hates being opposed while sitting in the seat of hypocrisy. Ibrahim Traore, within 2 years of being in power, has survived more than 20 assassination attempts. But why did they want Traore dead? First, amongst other things, Ibrahim Traore was very decisive about pushing out America's influence from his country, and he also kicked out the French military base from Burkina Faso. Number 2, Traore has been enforcing massive development in his country, a thing which imperialism hates, even while they claim they love to give aid for African development. And he is doing this development working with the Burkinabe people to achieve the goal, which happens to be the same style that Thomas Sankara used in his days before he was brutally murdered by the West in collusion with some Africans.
This is what I mean if I tell you that the entire country of Burkina Faso is under construction, because every corner that I pass in this beautiful country, there are more like road constructions going on.
Exactly. We have more projects right now, and I was telling, since I was born, and since the independence of Burkina Faso, we only have 3,000 kilometers of paved roads.
Are you kidding me? You mean the entire country?
Since the independence.
So now?
Till now.
Only
3,000 kilometers of paved roads.
So what is happening now?
Now, our new president has the willing to really build the roads. They even bought all the equipment, all the necessary equipment to build every corner of our country. As you can see, like this, we have so many corners right now that are in building.
This is insane. So what he's trying to say is that His Excellency Ibrahim Traore is actually rebuilding his country, because from independence to today, the country can only boast of 3,000 kilometers paved road. But guess what? The equipment that is used to construct the roads in here were actually bought by His Excellency. So which means that the contract is not in the hands of any company.
No, it's the government who is charged to build to construct all the roads.
What is the goal? How many kilometers of roads does he want to achieve in a year?
The goal now is to be able to achieve 5,000 per year.
Kilometers
and notice that
per year.
I said that since the independence, we only had 3,000, but now the goal is to have 5,000 kilometers of paved road every year.
What are you going to tell your president, bro?
I love him. I love you, Ibrahim Traore.
Your country is currently under construction.
Yes, it is. That's right, it is. It's under construction. Since Traore came to power, the country is under construction. As you see, this is one of the examples that shows the country is under construction.
Yeah.
One of the most important parts about this project of road construction is that it's being done by the Burkina people.
What do you mean? The entire construction?
Yeah.
It's been done by the people of Burkina Faso.
Exactly.
How?
The government bought so many machines, so many machinery for road construction, and they recruited around 400 young people to drive. They would train them to drive this machinery. So it is done by the people of Burkina Faso, for the people of Burkina Faso.
This is incredible, man, because I believe in the philosophy of Africans are the only people that can build Africa. And that is what His Excellency is doing right now. He's proving my quotes right. because it takes only African
Exactly.
to come up with a solution for Africa's problem.
Exactly.
Can you believe it?
Exactly.
And I am here, and every single person on ground is actually a Burkinabe. The construction is being done by the people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane, bro.
I must also say that while there are many Africans who came out to protest these attacks on President Ibrahim Traore, there are also those who came out to protest against him, calling him a dictator. But do you know where this protest took place? In France, by some people who claim to be Africans. But their dark skin does not make them Africans if they cannot open their eyes to see how imperialism has worked in Africa over the years, undermining and keeping Africa in a poverty loop for centuries. They cannot see how the propaganda that killed Patrice Lumumba of Congo, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, and the hosts of others who have been killed by the system of imperialism started with such seemingly harmless accusations from the West. The story and pattern are always the same.
Also, we have a milk processing factory.
Oh, wow.
There will be 5 of them. One of them is already functional in Ouagadougou.
In this factory, they convert the raw milk into butter, cheese, yogurts, and fresh milk for people to consume. This is what happens when you get yourself a revolutionary leader who believes in the dreams and ideologies of his people. You're a YouTuber. Yes. More like a Francophone YouTuber. Should I say the biggest female YouTuber in the Francophone world? Bonsoir, comment ça va?
Bonsoir, Wade. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a pleasure meeting you.
It's such a pleasure.
Wow.
You've been such an inspiration for all these years.
I think I made it in life. But is it your first time in Burkina Faso?
No, it's actually the second time.
The second time?
Right.
When was the first time that you came in here?
It was 2021 for the wedding of one of my very good friends.
And then you're back here in 2025?
Right.
Do you see any changes so far?
I would say I see changes. I see changes in the mindset of young Burkinabe. I can see them start thinking differently.
Okay.
I see changes in respecting the rules.
Oh, wow.
You know the challenges when it comes to respecting the rules.
His Excellency is on a journey to decolonize his country. Anything in this country that celebrates the colonizers, he makes sure he changes it. This boulevard that you see right behind me was once named after
Charles de Gaulle,
who was also a colonizer.
Yes.
So what happened? The name has been changed now.
Yeah, definitely.
Who changed it?
The President Ibrahim Traore.
Oh, wow. He changed it to what?
Captain Thomas Sankara.
That's impressive, man.
Yes.
So, which means that since independence,
yes,
this road has been celebrating
a colonizer.
A colonizer.
Yeah.
And he decided to change it.
Yes.
How does that make you feel as a Burkinabe?
It makes us feel proud. Yeah. So proud because we have a road named after a Burkinabe. And it's not any Burkinabe, a great Burkinabe, a leader, you know, and a philosopher, Thomas Sankara.
Like your president?
Yes, I do.
What do you love about your president?
Because it's making the country feel proud, and people now start to believe in the country.
Wow.
Before, we want to move to any other country because we feel like our country was like hell, going to hell. But nowadays, we feel even the hot weather, we don't feel like it's not hot anymore. It's good for us now, you know.
Les étudiants l'ont attendu des heures durant. Ils commençaient d'ailleurs.
The next one concerning the gowns of the judges and the lawyers means in the justice system, the judges and the lawyers must wear the gowns made in Burkina Faso using a fabric made in Burkina Faso. Now all the schools, the uniform for the students, for the from primary up to high school, they have to use a locally made fabric for the school uniform. This is a very big one also. So this is, it aims to support the local industry in the textile. Also, it gives like an identity to the students or the students of Burkina Faso.
It's also of note to say that more African leaders are beginning to see the Traore movement. Listen to these two separate videos of the president of Botswana and a member of the Namibian parliament speak about Ibrahim Traore's leadership.
And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traore. And I say, some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question. It's a different environment. You say, this guy is not doing things. Traore is doing them. Traore wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff, they look at me and say, what is this? What is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years, then we evaluate, then there are complaints, and there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you. Those who came before me did not fail because they didn't have ideas. They did. Maybe even better ideas. They just didn't implement them. Why? Because perhaps they failed to appreciate that the structures that are in place are not properly suited to the attainment of quick action. So you need to subvert some of these rules and processes unapologetically. And I will do it. Let me tell you here and now. I will. Within the confines of the law, and I know it. If there's anything I know, it's the law. That's all I know, really. So I will, within the law. Tell me to flight a tender, take 2 years to procure some much needed service. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. I'm going to take the quick route, as the crow flies, straight on to action. And I'll take fire from politicians. That's what I'm always ready for. I like it. I enjoy, I relish the fire. But I will do what is good for the people. For any industry that must drive and power this economy, we're going to do it together.
You see, Traore has become the hero to Professor. I and him will drink coffee about Traore. But he's doing two good things. That he becomes an international icon. A young guy, younger than many of us. Traore has changed the price of uranium. France was buying uranium from Burkina Faso for $1 billion every year. He stopped the French to buy his uranium. Today, Burkina Faso is making 85 billion from the same resource. We are selling uranium here. We have no nuclear power. We are just talking, everything is nuclear. We are just selling. Whether the Chinese are paying us the best price or not, we don't know. We are also afraid. What if they walk out of this deal? But Traore, a young man, a soldier, has changed his country. That's why Traore is now building up factories, processing plants of agro-processing, because he has resources. We have these resources. When we say some of these things must not be said in the open, but let's drink coffee and talk about the future of our country, we don't listen to one another. So, Foreign Minister, may your door be open for further engagement, deeper engagement in the national interest of our country, so that we start running, because we are crawling. We must start running. And this country has an opportunity to penetrate Africa, to penetrate the world, but we must run it and we must talk to one another so that we get the country going.
Let me leave you with this question. What is wrong with democracy? Is democracy really the government of the people, by the people and for the people? To answer this question, I will say, if you know how to connect the dots, you will see that democracy is largely an imperial tool for managing and controlling the nations of the world. They are aware that if you control election outcomes through the ballot, then you can control the person who comes into power as head of state. Same way, if you control a nation's House of Parliament, which makes the laws and policies of the country through the ballot, then you can control the country using its own laws. We've seen this happen with global health policies during and after the pandemic. We have seen it happen with food production in Africa using UPOV laws from the World Trade Organization. The list is endless. So next time your country is going to the polls to choose your leaders, do your due diligence to know if the person you are supporting or voting for is a project for imperial control or a patriot that wants the good of your country. Supporting or voting for is a project for imperial control or a patriot that wants the good of your country. Is endless. So next time your country is going to the polls to choose your leaders, do your due diligence to know if the person you are supporting or voting for is a project for imperial control or a patriot that wants the good of your country.